YouTube, how's it going? I'm back with some more NFL draft prospect rankings, going through all the position groups. This one's defensive ends. Could be a 3-4 D end, could be 4-3 D end, could be a guy that can play either one. There's not going to be any, in my opinion, guys that will be an outside linebacker. These are just straight up D ends, D linemen, if you will. So there'll be a separate video for edge rushers, guys that could be D ends or outside linebackers. That's how I'm going to separate it. So let's get into my rankings. Number one is a pretty obvious one, going to be a D end. It's Bradley Chubb, maybe the best player in this draft. Top three for sure, in my opinion. I think he can be a 4-3 D end or a 3-4 D end. I prefer him in the 4-3. Getting some Everson Griffin comparisons. I like those comparisons. I'm a big fan of him as well. So, I mean, not only rushing the passer, which is maybe the most important thing in football, but he is an excellent run-stopping D end. And coaches want to teach their pass rush techniques. They don't really want, I mean, they can coach the run stopping techniques for DNs, but they prefer to coach their pass rushing techniques. So maybe a guy with a little bit of room for improvement on the pass rush abilities, but he's very good, top tier, obviously, in this draft class, but coaches will love him. Freakish ability, played very well every year at NC State. So he's number one, pretty obvious. Number two, another pretty obvious one, Marcus Davenport, defensive end from University of Texas San Antonio. Now, some people say he may be able to step back and play 3-4 outside linebacker. I'm not doubting that he can't do it, but I just really prefer him as a 4-3 DN, and that's it. I think he's a lock at a first-round pick. I have him top 20, easily top 20 on my big board, somewhere around 15 for him. So I like Davenport a lot. Again, 4-3 DN for me. I think he can play at a high level right away, but people view him as a potential guy, a lot of room to grow. So maybe one day we look back on his draft class and this is your best pass rusher. Who knows? But we're on to number three. This is Taven Bryan, Florida Gators. He was a defensive tackle for the Florida Gators. So why isn't he a defensive tackle video? Well, he very well could be a defensive tackle, but I really prefer this guy as a 3-4 end. I just see a 3-4 end in this guy. I think he will dominate. I think another guy we can look back in this draft if he goes to a 3-4 team and gets his chances. And we're going to figure out why this guy didn't go any earlier. I really think he was in the wrong position at Florida. Did very well at D tackle. I think he can play 4-3 D tackle. But again, I really like him at 3-4 end. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes. He can go late first, early second. What type of team he goes to, who knows? But I mean, I guess it's a pretty good upside. He can go to either type of defense. So pretty good upside there. On to number four, it's going to be Sam Hubbard, the Ohio State defensive end. Another guy some people view as maybe playing 3-4 outside linebacker. I know, for an example, the Titans are looking at him closely for possibly that position because they play a 3-4. But I don't know if he's athletic enough to stand up off the ball. I really just prefer him at D end. He's a technician. He's learned the position with his hand in the dirt on the line, playing 4-3 end. So I prefer him there. Yeah, again, not going to wow athleticism. Not a bad athlete or anything. But yeah, again, he's a technician, good football player. I don't know about late first. You see him in some mocks late first. I prefer him maybe early second. Better off there. But again, I do like him as a 4-3 DN in my opinion. But could very well go into camp trying out for 3-4 outside linebacker. This is just where I prefer him. So we're on to number five, Rashod Green, the USC D lineman. I like this guy a lot because I say D lineman because he can be a D end or another guy that can be a D end or a D tackle. I think he's big enough to play 4-3 D tackle, but another guy that I prefer as an end. Honestly, can play 3-4 end or 4-3 end. So really three positions this guy can play. Very impressive. I think I prefer him as that 3-4 end though. A lot of good production from him. I think he needs help in his run stopping. Maybe the technique isn't all there, but good production. I was back and forth on him 5-6 in this group. Put him at 5. Really was the production that separated the guys. That's not the number one thing you look for, but had to split up from him from 5 and this number 6 guy that we're about to see because of that. And then number 6 is Deshaun Han from Alabama. A lot of upside for this guy. Not a lot of production, but it's maybe because he wasn't always on the field. A good rotation at Alabama. Obviously the best recruits, guys that are going to be future top draft picks. This guy was a top recruit out of high school. So if he gets the chance, he may be a better NFL player. I think he will be a better NFL player than he was a college player production-wise. A guy that can play 4-3 D tackle or 3-4 end. I prefer him at 3-4 end. Number 7 is Marquise Haynes, another guy that could be a 4-3 end or a 3-4 outside linebacker, but I really just straight up prefer him at 4-3 end. I do not. It's kind of like Marcus Davenport, same situation. I don't really want him to play 3-4 outside linebacker, so I included him on the D ends because I really like him at D end. Very impressive there. Really, the downside of him is maybe run plays outside. His angles are just tracking down the runner. He's very athletic, but getting out to the sideline maybe is the weakness. But in the passing game, very impressive game changer performances out of him from Ole Miss. Number 8 is Andrew Brown. I think he's just a straight up 3-4 defensive end. Andrew Brown from Virginia. He's a weird prospect. You see a lot of guys that really like him a lot, like second, third round, and there's guys that just prefer him as a 6th round guy even. So I think he goes somewhere in the middle, 3rd or 4th round. I do like him as a 3-4 end. 3 more DN rankings for you guys. Number 9 is Chad Thomas from Miami. Not a whole lot of production from him, but freak size, freak athleticism. Somebody's going to want to coach this guy, bottom line. Big guy. He's going to play 4-3 D end. Maybe he could play 3-4 D end, but I definitely like him at 4-3 D end. So yeah, again, somebody's going to like his upside. They're going to want to coach him up, so maybe he goes earlier than some of these guys that are ahead of him. Number 10 is Duke Ejiofor, Wake Forest, the guy that I prefer as a 4-3 D end. A lot of production for him. That was pure technique. He's another technician guy. Not a whole lot of athleticism, so maybe we're hearing some comparisons to Sam Hubbard. Not exactly the same player, but same concerns. Maybe doesn't get away with some of the stuff in the NFL at the NFL level, but good production guy. Then number 11 is Breland Speaks from Ole Miss. Some view him as a D tackle. I think he can play. D tackle, but I like him as a 3-4 end, similar to Andrew Brown. I think Andrew Brown is going to be better in the pass game. I think he's a little more athletic. But Breland Speaks comes in here at 11 for me as a 3-4 D end, possible defensive tackle at the next level. So that'll do it for the D line and the D ends. Next up, like I said, is edge rushers, guys that can play defensive end in a 4-3 or a 3-4 outside linebacker. They're just straight up edge rushers. There's going to be another video for 3-4 outside linebackers, rush linebackers, and then we're going to keep going on from there. Regular linebackers, corner, safeties. We'll do some slot guys too. So we're going to get through this. We're getting close to the draft. Plenty of other videos to come. Stay tuned for all those. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. That'll do it. Goodbye.